Gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Van Drew is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a fascinating, interesting, enjoyable discussion. It is. However, I just wanted, there were certain things, and I might digress a tiny bit, but the ranking member from New York mentioned that the Republicans rejected a good border bill, a tough border bill. I can't just let that statement go. The border bill that the Senate did, and will never see the light of day, hope to God, in the House, did nothing to stop catch and release. It did nothing to continue to build the wall. It did not institute the Remain in Mexico policy. It didn't allow the immediate expediting of individuals who did get through back to their country of origin. It did allow close to 2 million illegals a year into the United States, almost codifying what is illegal. It did allow 50,000 work permits per year. And you know what I want to say here is, I don't know that we'd have to have these discussions, colloquies, and debates if the executive branch just did its damn job. They're not doing their job. The executive branch itself is basically allowing the law to be broken, and I would maintain is breaking the law. This administration is terrible. It doesn't enforce the law of the land. And as far as resources that would mention, believe me, if this administration was enforcing the law and instituting all of the things that I just mentioned that need to be done and more, if they did all that, I can personally guarantee that this Congress, at least this side of the aisle, would now, because of the extreme nature of the situation, get those resources to the administration so they could do their job. But meanwhile, they're not. And meanwhile, it's incumbent upon the Judiciary Committee and the House of Representatives to ensure that we do everything within our legal ability and framework to stop the disaster that's going on. Because any of the folks at home that might be listening to this conversation, they may not understand all the technicalities. They may not understand the interesting parts of the debate and the fascinating intellectual duel that takes place. But you know what they do understand? They do understand that 2 cops were beaten up by over a dozen individuals who came here illegally because we couldn't even check who they were and where they're going. They do understand what it's doing to our country. So I support this legislation. I support all the legislation that's coming to me today.
With the gentleman.
I thank Representative Bishop, my friend from North Carolina, and yes, I will yield.
I thank the gentleman and the Democrats.
And I'd like to reclaim my time.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you for that, and you're exactly right. So getting back to what the ranking member said, that bill that came from the Senate is a nothing burger. It did nothing, it didn't accomplish anything, and it did more harm than good. And as my friend from North Carolina said, institutionalized and legalized what is an illegal activity. I thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman,
Mr. Van Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just can't let this go.
Sir, your amendment, isn't it? Yeah.
We all believe in immigration. We all believe we need a better legal immigration. We don't believe that we should give more money to process illegal immigration. Let me tell you an immigration story that just, we all have immigrants in our district. I certainly have a good number. Gentleman grew to be a friend. He is a friend of mine, visited his little store and gas station every week, twice a week, got gas, spoke to him, bought stuff. And he talked about how he was in this country and how more than anything, he had to wait to get in. And now that he was in, that he was waiting to be, in a legal way, a legal citizen in the United States of America. He went through the process. And I'll never forget the day that he was sworn in, because I saw him right afterward. He came back to his store because he worked like 15 hours a day. His kids were models in the school. His wife was a wonderful person. He was a wonderful person, a great part of the community. And he talked to me and he teared up because he spoke about how proud he was to be a United States citizen, how proud he was of America, how much he believed in the United States of America, and that it was worth the long and arduous wait. He wasn't with the immigrants again, who beat up those cops in New York, and then when they were immediately released by ultra-liberal prosecutors, walked by the media and the video cameras and gave 2 middle fingers. Those 2 middle fingers were to America. We don't know who's coming in, how they're coming in, what they're going to do, whether they're on the terror watch list, what they believe in, how they're related to the drug cartels, which control the border. No congressperson controls the border. The border control doesn't control the damn border right now. It's the drug cartels. Nobody's saying anything about illegal immigrants. Nobody is saying anything about immigrants. Almost all of us who sit on this committee at some point in time either are immigrants, or their parents were, or their grandparents were, or their great-grandparents were. Legal immigration, there's nothing wrong with it. But what we are doing to this country now is wrong. You know, when our forefathers came here, when those that worked so hard to become part of America, and many of these people, when they came here, they believed in America. They wanted to become part of the United States of America. They love this country. To give more money to a process that allows illegal immigrants to just come into the country in huge numbers that we cannot absorb is wrong. It's wrong to those legal immigrants that are here. And the people who feel most strongly about this issue aren't fifth-generation Americans. The ones that I speak to are recent legal immigrants who came to the United States of America and believe in this country, like my friend Kayla. So let's stop it. Let's not do the blame game. What's going on now is wrong, and it's bad, and more money's not going to be the answer. And that bill from the Senate was a damn bad bill that did nothing. So as many times as you want to pretend politically that it did something, I'm going to tell you it made it worse. So it's tell the truth time. I yield back.